Now welcome to another edition of News from Naboo with Thor's Lightning Takes. And let's get right to the news.
All right, today we have an interesting article that was in Glamour magazine. They did an interview with Jodie Turner-Smith, who played Mother Anastasia in The Acolyte.
The power of one.
The power of no money.
Oh my goodness.
All right, she kind of spoke candidly kind of about the situation that happened online with Amanda Stenberg, about the online harassment that she received. Not she as in Jodie Turner-Smith.
Did she get any? I mean...
She doesn't actually say in this article
if
she was harassed at all.
Had any personal experiences she was going to share here. Okay.
She starts out by she relayed the story about how Stenberg gave her an essay on her dual characters' motivations and inner lives when she first met her.
Okay.
Because she was struck by how much Amanda really got into this and loved Star Wars and Kid in the Candy Store thing. She said, "She put so much care and thought and love into that. And it's disappointing to feel like your studio is not having your back in a very public-facing way."
So, first thing, and this sounds harsh and cruel and mean, but just because you put a lot of care and love into something doesn't mean it's going to be good.
Well, and nobody was coming out instantly and saying, "It's your fault the show is bad. We hate the show because you're a woman. We hate the show because you're black." What kind of people say that?
Some do.
That's going to be a small group.
It's a tiny fraction of the people who are upset, I believe. There are bad people. There are people who say stupid things like that, and they should be ignored. And no one is condoning that. We're not condoning that. But it's like how many out of the thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of comments that are left, about this show have been flat out just I hate this type of person, so the show is terrible. How often does that happen? And the idea that how is Lucasfilm going to protect you on the internet? Do you expect them to have an actual Jedi order that they send out into the world to seek out people who leave mean comments on the internet? What do you actually want them to do?
I've got more information on stuff like that.
Okay, because I'm really curious what are they supposed to do?
All right. So going on, the next thing that Jodie Turner-Smith said is they've got to stop doing this thing where they don't say anything when people are getting effing dogpiled on the internet with racism and BS. It's just not fair to not say anything. It's really unfair.
What are they going to say? What do you think? If someone is a really, really racist or sexist or whatever it is, and they're out on the internet saying these things, guess what happens when Disney or Lucasfilm says, "Hey guys, let's all be family and let's love each other and not be like that." It doesn't work. It doesn't stop anybody.
Don't feed the trolls. We've talked about this.
We have talked about that. That's not even necessarily... I mean, in a way it is feeding the trolls because you are acknowledging it, and that's kind of what they want, right?
That's the whole point.
Yeah, so once you say something... And I'm not saying that that's necessarily a bad thing for Lucasfilm to come out and support them. That's not what I'm saying, but...
Well, and don't forget, it's not that they haven't ever supported. When Disney released Kenobi, remember... There was a short statement that Ewan McGregor recorded a message for social media for the Star Wars social media account supporting Moses Ingram when she was the target of racist abuse. John Boyega even came out at that time saying, "You know what? That's a step up for Disney." Because he got dogpiled on. He felt that Disney did him dirty in the past. They cut him off of posters. They do him dirty. They shrank him on
posters. And they...
what? Finn? I don't know who that is.
Finn?
No. Sorry, that country doesn't...
China? Yeah, China. He's not a big part of the movie. We promise. He'll be small on the poster, and we won't... In the next movie, he'll do nothing. We promise. Just keep spending your money on us. But we care about racism.
Has said things. Just want that on the record as well.
Yeah, they have. But my point is, what does that do? If you could just say end racism and it was over, that would be glorious, right? Yeah. And I'm not saying you can't, continue to push that message necessarily, but the idea that, Lucasfilm is going to make a social media post and everything's going to be okay is just kind of silly. And I get, as the actor, you probably feel supported by them. You're like, well, thank you for saying, thank you for standing up and saying to your fans, I get it. I see both sides of it. But my point is simply that if it was a simple solution... Yeah. If it was simple, we would end it already.
That doesn't change anything. Unfortunately, the people who are that far into the hatred that they're fostering, that they're letting build up, that they're taking out on actors on social media, those people aren't going to change.
Never, no.
I'm really sorry, but they aren't. I mean, they should, because they're not
Yeah, I
helping
mean,
anybody. But
you could hope they change. You could try to change them if you
it's
know
not doing
them, but like
any good.
Yeah, but like
Because
just
those people won't change.
no, just a random post on the internet is never going to change. It would take some sort of life experience where they realize, oh wait, I've been an idiot all this time for thinking you're bad because you're a different skin color.
Yeah.
They'd be like, you're a moron.
Well, and here's the last quote from Jodie Turner-Smith on the topic of Disney should support the actors more.
Okay.
She said, "It would just be nice if the people that have all the money were showing their support and putting their feet down. Say, this is unacceptable. You're not a fan if you do this. Make a really big statement and just see if any money leaves. I bet you it won't, because people of color, and especially black people, make up a very large percentage of buying power. They might find that it's actually more lucrative for them, but everyone using woke like it's a dirty word."
So she's saying they don't do it because they're afraid they're going to lose money?
That's her interpretation.
But she's arguing that black people, in this instance, don't watch Star Wars because they don't feel supported.
Yeah, well, no, she's saying that they do watch Star Wars, and if you came out and say that, maybe more of them would be, their buying power would contribute even harder, because they're like, look, the company supports, us. I think she's a bit mistaken. Coming out and going, you're not a fan if you do this, doesn't change the troll. Nothing's changing the troll.
It's the same problem of you can't fix this problem by making posts on the internet.
It's just an online issue. Online anonymity.
People suck
rules.
online, too. I mean, I fully believe, and, this might sound bad, but I think a lot of people know how to provoke other people, and they say the darndest thing on the internet just to do that.
No.
That doesn't necessarily mean that they, in their normal life, aren't racist either, is what I'm saying. But I think a lot of people, like, if you want to piss somebody off, you say to them the exact thing you know is going to piss them off. And if you're trying to anger somebody, you might say something racist or sexist to them to provoke them. Doesn't mean, like, in your real life you necessarily believe that, but you're just trying to piss people off.
Well, no. If every time they posted, it flashed with their real name and their real address and phone number, you really think people would say some of the things that they say?
I don't necessarily condone that, but yeah, if you had a...
You feel like there's no consequences online.
That's the problem. You have
I'm hiding behind a screen and I can say whatever I want. I'm in a bad mood today. I'm taking it out on the world.
Yeah, whereas if you met Jodie Turner-Smith or Amanda Lestenberg on the street, you would probably see them as a human being, which they obviously are, and you probably wouldn't say mean things to them, unless you are just a dick.
What's interesting is in the Variety article that you covered yesterday, there's a little bit about this. It's like hidden in there.
It is actually a lot of this. It's not really it's very minimally about the superfan thing. Yeah.
They talked about what, like, the hands-off approach, what they do with this, like, toxicity is. They do not mention where this TV executive comes from. They don't mention if it's from Disney, from who knows where.
Yeah.
Any franchise. But they say, particularly when it's a negative, toxic conversation, we don't even engage. Like with toxic people, you try to not give it too much oxygen. We'll reply to comments that are positive and elevate those things.
It's like not feeding the trolls in a way. Even though I think what they deem toxic sometimes isn't toxic, and they're just ignoring actual, genuine, pretty harsh criticism.
Well, and some of these bigger companies, because I've done some homework on this subject, because that's what I do when I'm not working at the bank. When you're not
working, you're working, yeah.
When I'm not at the bank, I'm doing other work. But some companies, when things like this happen, they have social media, like, connections. Like, I'm sure Disney has a company that they go to. These are the experts in social media. They take over or offer to monitor the talent's accounts, and they can scrub their account. That is what they are there for. There's a whole business for that.
Yeah. I mean, social media is huge. I'm sure they have many people who their job is to monitor social media or to fix it or whatever. Now, do you think part of the reason that Disney isn't coming out and supporting as much as, like, Jodie Turner-Smith wants is because she didn't just, like, the innocent bystander. She wasn't just, she went on the offensive, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
She didn't just go, here's the Acolyte, I put my best foot forward, I'm putting positive things on the internet, hey guys, I hope you enjoyed my show, I thought, this is what I liked about it. No, instead, what does she do? She makes the video talking about how people are the song video.
Yeah.
She does that, and then what happens? Here comes the dog pile of all the trolls going, well, now you're fighting back, and you're calling us names, so 10 times more, I'm sure, came in.
It's an endless
Her
circle.
response to that, make another video saying that we're all bigots and racists or something if we like Star Wars but didn't like the Acolyte. I'm paraphrasing. That is nothing exactly to what she said.
And what happens? How many people make videos in response to her? So
why would Disney come out and be like, we're going to support the actress now, even though she's fighting back and calling them names?
Well, it's not that they can't support the actress, but it's like, what again, I go back
to... Do they
to
want to put themselves in that wrecking ball?
Yeah, you don't necessarily want to... It's not even like bad publicity because you feel like you're on the side of the right? You feel like the righteous side of defending her, but it's like, do you really just want to throw your hat into that storm?
Disney will defend you if you are innocent.
Well, it's not
I'm not saying that she's not innocent, but the fact that she is toxically fighting back.
It's not that
she's stooping into the same levels of the people who are attacking her.
Yeah.
When you have to go and roll around in the mud to fight the mudslingers, you're getting yourself just as dirty.
Yeah, it's complicated.
It is very complicated.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
The moral of the story is you have to do your best to ignore it.
Yeah.
It sucks. You may have to take a break from social media, but
the best thing to do is ignore it because there's really no other option short of trying to track them down and I don't know what at that point.
Plus, you have to look at how is your next job going to be received. Do I want to be the actress
who antagonizes the fans?
Who antagonizes the fans, who fights the trolls? Because now is that next project that I want to be in, that next company, when they go to hire me, are they going to go, do I want to deal with all of the social media clout problems that are going to come with hiring this actress?
No, they don't. Because they all pay attention to social media because, as I said, it's huge.
So, interesting things said by Jodie Turner-Smith.
It's
being angry with Disney for not, as she put it, supporting her co-star when she was getting dogpiled with the trolls. And
yeah, it's a tricky topic.
It is.
Because it's not...
This is a company.
Well, it's not even that, but it's like you can't just put something on. I mean, it's kind of the same. They kind of do the same thing, right? You have the people who just get angry online, and it's like, well, am I supposed to take that seriously? I don't even know who you are. I don't care who you are. You're just an angry person or angry sounding person saying mean things, and it doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. Just like what Disney does when they try to, it doesn't mean anything. It's a nice gesture, and as I said, I'm sure the people who are affected by it, the actors, actresses, whatever it might be, that are affected, appreciate it, but it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't change anybody's mind. It's all just crap in the wind on the internet. Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's all we got for you this time. Now it is your turn. Take to the comments below. Let us know what you think of this story. Where do you fall? What do you think about any of it? Whatever the case may be. Leave a comment below. Let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.